Welcome to the Holistic Soul Sisters Radio, a channel created to help you heal holistically and grow spiritually. I'm your host, Mandi Rose. I'm not afraid to talk about taboo subjects, so nothing is off limits here. Make sure you hit subscribe and get ready to learn more from me and other experts on all things health, spirituality, astrology, lifestyle, relationships, and so much more. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Let's begin. And welcome back, my Holistic Soul Sisters. I am coming to you today with my official birthday podcast episode. You know I do this every single year. Last year, I talked about the 10 mottos I live by that are like Bible for me. And this year, I wanted to talk about my solar return chart. So it's a little bit of astrology. It's a little bit about personal testimonial. I want this episode to kind of feel like you and I are just hanging out like girlfriends, chit-chatting about life and what my current journey is, and give you also some information on not only astrology and understanding it a little bit better and how every single year your astrology changes and impacts you differently, but also understand what doing a solar return chart can do for you and what information it provides you with as far as your upcoming year and what you can look forward to. So I'm really excited to bring you this episode. I will have a part 2 birthday episode, which I'm going to talk about my anti-aging secrets. People always ask me what foods I eat, what kind of nutrition I take, different lifestyle things that help me feel and look as young as I do at 36. So next week, that episode will be dropping for you. So stay tuned. And if this is your first time listening to Holistic Soul Sister Radio, welcome. These podcast episodes talk all about holistic healing, lifestyle, spirituality, astrology, and overall how we can just live a very high vibrational lifestyle in a very low vibrational toxic world. I hope that you will subscribe and stay tuned for many more episodes. I do solo episodes like this one where I just focus on one specific topic. I do episodes that are what's called an IMO, in my opinion, where I get a little vocal and a little opinionated on a specific topic where I'm in no way trying to persuade you to think, act, or behave like me, but I'm just coming to you raw and real with my opinion. And then I also do mini-series where we pick one specific topic and talk about it for a couple weeks in a row. So if you go back in the podcast archives, you'll see that we did a Heartbreak to Heal mini-series, having guests on explaining how their heartbreak led them to a healing journey and getting to a place of loving themselves first and foremost. We also did an energetic healing mini-series where we talked about all different types of healing modalities that you can use, from sound vibrations to essential oils, to past life regression, and anything dealing with energetic healing. And coming up very soon, starting in October, we're going to be doing a mindset mini-series where I'll be having guests on talking about different mindsets that we can get into to create our most abundant and manifested life. So we're going to talk about growth mindset, abundance mindset, money mindset, motivation mindset, different ways that we can hack our brainwaves to live the life of our dreams. So stay tuned for all of that. But for now, let's dive into this episode all about my solar return. If you guys are interested in doing a solar return chart, feel free to contact me. It is a little bit different than an in-depth birth chart reading. I usually recommend you start with a birth chart reading so you know the blueprint of your soul at the moment of your birth, which dictates who you are over the course of your lifetime. But if you've done a birth chart reading already and you want to do a solar return chart, you can do it around your birthday. You can do it on your actual solar return, which I can calculate for you. Or you can honestly do it any time of year, even if your solar return has passed. It still gives you so much more information on the cycle of life and the journey that you're currently in. So feel free to contact me. You can go over to the Holistic Soul Sister Instagram page, linked in the show notes. You can email me at holisticsoulsisters1111@gmail.com, or just find me on any of the social media platforms. All right, everyone, let's dive in to my solar return. All right, girlfriend, I know that you constantly hear me say the universe works in mysterious and magical ways, so it is no surprise to me that the one year I decide to do my solar return podcast episode as my birthday episode, it is the one year where my solar return falls on my exact birthday. Now, I know this can be a little complicated, so I'm going to break it down and teach you some things about astrology before we even dive into solar returns. So in astrology, we practice a 360-day year because the earth is round, the astrological wheel is a circle, circles have 360 degrees. And in astrology, the sun moves 1 degree a day. So in an entire solar year, we have 360 days. However, in our modern day society, we follow the Gregorian calendar, which is 365 days. So therefore, on your actual birthday, it may not line up astrologically with your solar return. So for instance, my sun, on the day of my birth on August 31st, 1986, the sun was at 7 degrees of Virgo. So I'm a Virgo sun. However, every single year on August 31st, the sun in the sky may not be at 7 degrees of Virgo. It may be at 5 degrees of Virgo, it may be at 8 degrees of Virgo, but not always is the sun in the sky on the exact same placement, the exact same degree as it was on your specific birth date. So hopefully that kind of makes sense for you. So what a solar return chart does is you're casting a brand new birth chart for that upcoming year. You're looking at where all the planets and the stars are in the sky at that moment when the sun has returned home to the exact same place it was in the sky on the date of your birth. And you're looking at where is Mars and Venus, where is the moon, where are the eclipses, the north node and the south node, where is Saturn, where are all these planets, which I consider life coaches if you follow my astrology content or have the 2022 retrograde astrology journal, you know that each planet I consider a life coach. So when you're casting a solar return chart around your birthday, you're essentially seeing where are all these life coach planets in your chart and what lessons are they trying to teach you in this upcoming solar year. So that's kind of what I'm going to share with you guys today. So I hope that not only do you get to learn about astrology, you get to learn a little bit about me personally as well, the woman behind the podcast, behind the YouTube, get a little bit more into my world, but you're also going to see how we can use a solar chart to maximize our year. You know, what lessons are you supposed to learn? What messages, what overlying themes, like what is coming up for you in the upcoming year? So I love doing solar charts. And with that, we're going to start with the sun. The sun in the sky dictates what zodiac sign you are, right? So I'm a Virgo sun. Most people know what zodiac sign they are, what sun sign they are. It's modern, common astrology to know your sun sign. So of course, we must start with the sun. And like I said, on August 31st of this year, the sun on that exact day was in the exact same place in the sky that it was on my birth. So for me in astrology, the sun takes over a part of my chart called the 11th house. We have 12 houses in astrology that never change. Each house dictates a specific area of your life. So you'll kind of learn a little bit about that as we talk through this episode. So I was born with my sun in the 11th house of the sky. And the 11th house represents community, tribe, friendship circles. And since my sun is in this part of my life, this is where I shine brightest. So wherever your sun is in astrology, whatever house it falls, is the area of life for you that you shine brightest. So I shine brightest when I'm in community, when I'm in tribe, when I'm surrounded by friends and like-minded people. So that's never going to change in a solar return chart. Every single year, the sun in the sky on my solar return is going to be in my 11th house of community. So this is my theme for the upcoming year. Every single year, it is a life placement for me. And I am just meant to create a community like I have with Holistic Soul Sisters. Unfortunately, it's taken me until 33 years old to know my birth chart and to understand this concept. And that's when Holistic Soul Sisters was created. So the sun is going to be the same every single year in your solar return chart. So let's move on to the next important planet, and that is going to be the moon. Now, the moon changes zodiac signs every 2 to 3 days. So it's very quick moving. It represents our emotions. The moon is why people say that if you have to make an important decision to marinate on it for 2 to 3 days, because in 2 to 3 days, the moon is going to move zodiac signs and it might change the way that you feel about something, because the moon is how we feel. So of course, every single year on your solar return, the moon is most likely going to be in a different place in the sky. So for me, this year, in my 36th year around the sun, the moon is in the zodiac sign of Libra, which is really great energy because Libra is the zodiac sign of peace, of balance, of harmony, of negotiation. It can be a little people pleasing, but essentially it just wants everyone to be happy. So it's not looking to dominate. It's not looking to, emotionally react to everything and anything. It's very much about staying centered, staying grounded, and staying emotionally neutral. And I think this is an amazing and exciting theme for me in the upcoming year because I can get very emotionally involved in things. Normally, my birth chart, I am a Cancer moon, which is very watery, very emotional, very intuitive. I can react to things, in a very overly sensitive way. But for this upcoming year, the theme for my solar return for the entire year is that my emotions are going to be more balanced. Being in the zodiac sign of Libra, Libra is represented by the scales. It wants balance. So I'm excited to have a year of my emotions being more balanced, being more regulated, of just making sure that everyone is okay and not worrying too much about my own personal emotions. So that was a great placement for me to see. It's happening in my 12th house. The 12th house in astrology is the spiritual house. It's connection to the divine. It's energetic healing. And so I will be using my emotions and healing them in a very energetic way. So doing past life regressions, doing things that heal old trauma, ancestral trauma. The 12th house rules our ancestry. It rules things behind the scenes. So with my moon and my emotions in this part of my life, I see a lot of great healing. I see a lot of more evenness and fairness and balance and harmony in the way that I feel and express my emotions. So that was extremely exciting to see. I'm looking forward to that because this year has just been very volatile and I've been very reactive to all the changes in my life, and I'm ready for some balance. Which leads me to talking about the next planet that's important in a solar return chart, and that is our Mercury. So Mercury is the messenger. He's all about communication. So how we learn information, what we're going to like to learn about this year, how we're going to analyze that information, how we're going to speak, how we're going to present ourselves, how we're going to communicate. So for someone who does podcasts and social media, who educates others, someone maybe who writes books, wherever your Mercury is going to show the flavor of energy of how you're going to learn, what you're going to learn about, and how you're going to communicate it back out into the world. And my Mercury is also in Libra. So this is really exciting because it's very different from my Mercury that I was born with. My Mercury is in Virgo, so I'm very analytical, very detailed, very practical. I have to research till the end of the internet to know everything about everything. I listen to podcasts on 2x speed because there's not enough time in the day for me to listen to every single podcast I want to listen to. So the energy for me in this year in my solar return chart is that Mercury is in Libra. So I'm going to, again, find more balance because Libra is balance. So the way that I learn is going to be more balanced. It's going to be about subjects that Libra rules. So relationships, legal stuff, things about beauty and finding balance in life and bringing more beautiful, aesthetically pleasing things into my life. Now, Venus is the ruler of Libra. So if you think about Libra, you're going to think about feminine, you're going to think about beautiful aesthetics and warm, pretty surroundings. And so I'm excited that my Mercury, the messenger, the way that I'm going to communicate is in this Venus way. I'm going to be able to speak more softer and more feminine, which is really important because as someone who does podcasts, I know when I'm excited about something, I can speak so fast and I can give you so many details that people get lost. So I'm excited this year to have Mercury and Libra in my chart because now I'm going to learn to find balance, bringing you the facts that only matter to you, being able to speak in more flowery, delicate language that maybe is received better by others. And again, it's in the 12th house, just like the moon. So I'm going to want to learn about spiritual healing. The 12th house rules spirituality, rules healing. It rules things behind the scenes. So learning about things that have to to do with finance and taxes and legal stuff. So all the things behind the scene. So I was really excited to see Mercury in Libra in my solar return chart, giving me lessons in this area of life and just teaching me to think, speak, and communicate in a different way. So we'll see how that plays out for this year. And then we move on to Venus. Now, Venus in our chart, wherever she is, dictates how we love, what we love, how we create beauty, where in our life we want to create beauty and abundance, right? She rules abundance, that feminine receptivity. Now, in my birth chart, my Venus, which is my love language, is in the zodiac sign of Libra, which we kind of just talked about that. However, in my solar return for my upcoming year, my Venus is in Leo, and I am so here for this. If you have a Venus in Leo in your birth chart, you are so damn good at getting pampered, asking people to take care of you, words of affirmation. All you want is for people to put you on a pedestal and tell you how amazing, beautiful, and fabulous you are. So I am so excited to see this in my upcoming year, that I am going to feel Venus loved in a Leo way. I want people to praise me. I want my partner to cherish me, right? Leo lionesses want to be put on a pedestal. So this is something I'm going to have to learn. It's not in my natal chart. This is a lesson I'm meant to learn this year in my solar return. So really, really looking forward to it. Beautiful energy of goddess vibes, being seen, being recognized, finding beauty, wearing beautiful things. Venus and Leo energy is like wear and do the most. Like wear those diamonds, dress fancy just to go to the grocery store. Like this is something I am going to really pay attention to and try to embrace this solar year. On top of that, where it falls in my chart, in my life, is in my 10th house of career. So Venus brings abundance. She is in my 10th house of career for this astrological solar return. Yay. And it's in Leo. So to be seen, to be recognized, to be praised, to dress a certain way, and for it to bring up my reputation, my legacy, my career. Super excited to see this placement. So far, so good. I'm loving everything in my solar return chart. After Venus, we talk about Mars. Now, this placement I am a little nervous by. So I want to be super raw and real and open with you guys. Mars is the planet of action. It's what we take action on. It is aggression. It is anger. It is the masculine. It is what we are willing to go down fighting for. Now, my birth chart, Mars is in Capricorn. So Capricorn's all about long-term goals, having staying power, like see it through till the end. And that is just a part of my personality. But this year, the upcoming theme, the upcoming lesson is that Mars is in Gemini in my solar return chart. And Gemini is the zodiac sign of socializing, of networking, of meeting new people, of learning information. So Mars here is very much a monkey mind, is very much about do, research, learn a bunch of different things, meet a bunch of new people, take action on creating books and creating content. So that's all great, fine, and dandy, right? So I'll be taking action on my mind, on learning things, and meeting new people. Totally here for all of that. Those are things I love to do. However, where it falls in my life is in my 8th house. In the 8th house is the house of taxes, inheritances, other people's money. It rules death and rebirth, transformation. So all these things that I'm going to take action on this year, meeting new people, socializing, researching, learning things, is going to lead me to 8th house transformation, massive, massive transformation. And so anything I take action on this year, I have to be very cautious that what I'm taking action on, the research I'm doing, the things I'm learning, the people I'm surrounding myself with, all Gemini stuff, are going to transform me in a way that I want to be transformed. So being very cautious that the people I socialize with or that I'm networking with are really the people I'm in alignment with. Otherwise, Mars and Gemini in my 8th house is going to give me a lesson of like, hey, you're associating with the wrong people. Now you're transforming into this person. Or do you want to be around these people that are going to transform you into that person? So making sure not over-analyzing, but being very cautious of what I'm taking action on, because it's going to lead me into that next chapter, that next transformation of my life. So a little nerve-wracking. Also in my birth chart, Mars in Gemini, this is going to be a theme for me over the next 7 months, is that Mars is opposite my Uranus. And anytime you have a Mars-Uranus opposition, whether it's in your birth chart at the time you were born, or it's happening in the sky today and now, leads you to be more accident prone. And because Gemini is the twins and Gemini is thinking of 2 things at once, wanting to multitask, do everything all the time, all at once, this is very much a lesson for me of slowing down, one task at a time. There is going to be enough time to do it all, so you just need to focus on one thing at a time. So I've already kind of started learning that lesson. If you follow me on Instagram, you have probably seen that I busted up my toe, broke my toe on the 3rd of September, which is when Mars in Gemini reached this part of the sky that it's going to retrograde back through. So giving me an opportunity to relearn that lesson if I don't learn it in time. So I am learning to take things slower. I'm going to be very cautious of who I socialize and what I learn about and how I'm going to transform this year. So my Mars in Gemini placement is nerve-wracking to me, but I'm going to try to master this lesson to make my 36th year around the sun a very good transformational year. All right, now we're going to move on to my favorite planet, and that is Jupiter. Jupiter is my favorite planet because it is all about expansion and growth, blessings, abundance, prosperity, bringing in money, bringing in education, bringing in wisdom. Jupiter is like the best friend you go out with for a drink and you end up having like 5 shots, dance on the table all night long, and it's like the best night of your life. Expansion, like taking something small and expanding it to like the nth degree. And so wherever Jupiter is in your chart shows for the upcoming year where you're going to find the most blessing, growth, opportunity, prosperity, those kind of things. So for me, oh my God, I'm so happy about this. Jupiter is in Aries, and Jupiter in Aries vibes. Aries is the energy of just do it, be bold, be fearless, be spontaneous, like go first, take the lead, like toddler energy. A toddler under 7 does not care if it wears a Batman outfit to school because it wants to. It doesn't care what it looks like. A toddler under 7 will climb on the monkey bars and fall off the monkey bars and get right back up, right? Fearless and bold in the pursuit of what it wants to do. So the fact that I have Jupiter in Aries, it's going to bring me expansion, growth, blessing, prosperity, all the Jupiter things when I take inspired action, when I follow my passion, Aries, when I am bold, Aries, when I am fearless, Aries, when I am pursuing the things that I want to do, my independence, with no regard for what other people think, care, or believe about me. And so this is going to be an exciting lesson. And where it falls in my chart, what house, what area of my life is the 6th house, which rules health and wellness. This makes me so happy. Y'all know with my health issues and all the things that have been going on in my life, I have been needing a year where Jupiter brings blessing, prosperity, abundance, growth, all beautiful things into my health life. So it is in the area of health, wellness, daily routines, a lifestyle, and it's going to bring abundance in me, not only healing my physical body, but also helping to heal other people. So the 6th house is a great house for being in the healing arts, being a nutritionist, being a personal trainer, all of those things. So bringing Jupiter, blessing, prosperity, and abundance to heal my physical body, to help other people heal their physical body, and be Aries, bold, fearless in the pursuit of my passion. And side note, this isn't really about the solar return, but side note, in my birth chart, my North Star, like my soul's mission, your North Star, your North Node, is what your soul signed up to accomplish and complete in this lifetime. And for me, my North Node is in Aries. So Jupiter will be crossing over my North Node, activating my mission, activating my purpose, activating my North Star in the area of health, wellness, and healing. So I am totally looking forward to this. Again, just going back to that Mars, I just realized that my lesson is to, again, be very cautious of what I'm taking action on, who I'm surrounding myself with, what I'm learning, and how I'm trying to change in the upcoming year. Okay, I know this is a lot. We're kind of almost done. There is so much more to my solar return chart that would just take me another 2 hours to explain. And when I do a solar return chart reading for you, we pretty much go over an hour's worth of information. So I am breaking it down in a very simple way for you, but I want to highlight the most important things that you can learn from your own personal solar return by using me as an example. So now we're going to move into Saturn. So Saturn moves very slow. It takes him about 3 years to get through a zodiac sign. So for 3 solar returns in a row, you will have the exact same Saturn placement. So it's a lesson area that you're going to learn over the course of 3 solar return years. And I bring that up because Saturn is the tough love dad. He's the disciplinarian. He's the life coach to us that is going to bring hard shit your ways, struggles, obstacles, challenges, death, illness, like things that are yucky and icky, because it's only through those obstacles that you grow, right? If things are rosy and everything is wonderful, why are you going to change anything? You're going to want to keep it the same. So Saturn comes to force change, create new foundations. He loves structure and discipline and routine and commitment and boundaries, right? Tough love dad. So Saturn for me, this will be the last solar return that I have Saturn in my 4th house of home and family. Which, oh my gosh, if you guys follow me, if you know me, if you've been around on my Instagram for the last 3 years, you know that this area of life for me has been the most challenging. Creating a new home, leaving my home, getting divorced, giving up my home that I built for a long time, pretty much being homeless and living in Airbnbs, 7 to be exact, in a 1.5 years with my boyfriend while we waited for the building of our new home, moving into our new home a year ago, and it being problem after problem after problem, finding mold, renovating our kitchen, like our pool not getting done in time. The area of home and family, and I won't go into my family drama and family dynamics, that is for a whole nother podcast, but it's also been very challenging with cutting family members out of my life and recommitting to different people in my family. This has been the most challenging area of my life. And now seeing in my solar return chart, this will be the last year that Saturn will be teaching me lessons around this area. So I'm looking forward to the wrapping and ending up. I am looking forward to kind of creating that solid foundation. Saturn doesn't come back to this area of your life for another 30 years. So whatever foundation you create, whatever structure and discipline, routine, commitment you make with Saturn in your birth chart or in your solar return chart is going to be set up for the next 30 years. So I'm very much looking forward to finding some permanence and structure and foundation in this area of my life. So we're going to wrap that up this solar return. And lastly, I'm going to talk about the eclipses. You guys know I am so passionate about talking about the eclipses in the sky. I have videos on the Holistic Soul Sister TV channel over on YouTube talking about the eclipses. If you follow any of my astro content, even Instagram stories, the eclipses are very important. They are fated moments. These are things that happen to you from outside sources that you can't get away from. Like, they're meant to happen to you and you can try to run, but it's just going to play out the way it's supposed to play out no matter what. And eclipses change the cycles every 18 months. So you may have 2 solar returns in a row that have the same ecliptic points, or you might have that change from year to year. So for me, this year in this solar return, I am in a new eclipse cycle. And that is with the North Node in Taurus and the South Node in Scorpio. And this already began for all of us back in April and May. But now this is going to be the energy that I'm going to feel for my entire solar year. And I'm really excited about that because the North Node in astrology is the current energy you're moving towards. North node, new. So what new energy are you going to have? What new chapters are beginning? Well, for me, this is happening in my 7th house of relationships. So creating new, strong, and stable relationships. Taurus is the bull. It wants fixed, permanent, steady, strong, and stable things. It wants pleasure. It wants beauty. It wants physical, tangible, material goods like resources and nice bags and beautiful smelling candles and things that like tingle your earthly physical body. And so this is really exciting, and it's happening in my relationships. So creating really strong, stable, solid foundations in my relationships, which is something I've really been craving for a long time. I haven't had a solar return chart with this placement in 19 years. So I am so here for it. On the flip side, we have the North Node. We also have a South Node. The South Node is what we're releasing, what we're letting go, the chapters we're closing, right? The endings of cycles. So the South Node is in Scorpio, which happens to be in my 1st house. And the 1st house is our identity. It's how we dress. It's the first impression we give off to people. It's our appearance, our attitude, our ego. It's who we are when people first walk up to us. And I am kind of excited, and this has already been starting to happen for me, is changing of my identity. I was very much known as this fun, loving bartender who was playful and didn't care about anything and would go out drinking and live this very like free party girl mindset. And in the last couple of years, and specifically this year, I feel like I'm really changing my identity with the clothes that I wear. I'm kind of going back to things I used to wear in high school, like witchy, gothy, glam, really trying to change the way that I like do my hair, the way I do my makeup. I'm definitely changing the way that I project myself on first impression, being more business-minded, being more, not conservative, because I'm definitely not, but definitely being a little bit more professional in certain ways. And I feel like a total identity shift. South Node in your 1st house is like an identity shift. So anyone, if you're listening and you're a Scorpio rising, this eclipse cycle is doing the same thing for you. So I feel that, and just the way that I appear and act, and I don't know, it's a vibe. I'm leaning into it. This is going to take an entire year, but I've definitely set an intention to clean out my wardrobe, buy clothes that fit me in certain ways, wear my hair certain ways. I don't know, just bring back who I am at my core and not necessarily what is just comfortable. So you guys will have to let me know throughout the year if you've noticed my image, my projection, my wardrobe changing, because I think when you're inside the change, you don't really notice it happening, but people on the outside can see the change differently. So keep me posted on that. Let me know if you've already seen a difference or you notice it at any point throughout the year. And that's pretty much all I have for my solar return. I didn't want to go too in depth because I know astrology can be very complicated. It's full of different terminologies, the planets, the zodiac signs, the houses, the this, the that you can get lost really easily. So I try to keep it simple. I hope overall you kind of get to understand what you learn in a solar return. I hope that you enjoyed kind of getting to know me in a little bit more deeper way, the journey that I'm currently on. Also, when it comes to astrology, I do have to say that nothing is predictive. There is no way that I can know what is going to happen to you on a specific date. I am not God, and we all have free will. So astrology just shows us the energy that we can use, that we can maximize, what areas of life are going to have abundance if we pay attention to it. Remember, if we pay attention to it. If I said, oh, well, this year, I don't really want to focus on my career. I want to focus on building a family. Then my Venus and Leo in my 10th house of career, I don't have to embrace that. I just know it's there if I want to. And also when it comes to building a solar return chart, I know that throughout the year, there's going to be full moons, new moons, retrogrades, all these individual transits that happen throughout the year that are all bringing me back to this overlying theme. So
I don't know how to say that in a different way, but I hope that it's kind of this overview concept that you're kind of get it. I know it's really complicated. So thank you for bearing with me. If you guys have any questions about solar return charts, about astrology, about anything that I said in this episode, if you want to know more about it, head over to the Holistic Soul Sister Instagram page and find the post that I made about this podcast episode. And just go ahead in the comments and ask me whatever it might be. And I'll make sure to keep checking those comments, and either I will share it in a story, I will message you back personally through a voice memo, or I will share the information in my astrology content in the future. So let me know if there's anything in specific you want to understand more about astrology, about your personal chart, any of those things. I am happy to do so. And also, don't forget, now in the Holistic Soul Sister private Facebook community, if you're on Facebook, make sure you're in our private community, because as of last month, and I'm going to continue doing this, is 2 Tuesdays of the month, I'm doing a free 1-hour open forum coaching. And you can hop in. It's called Talk to Me Tuesday. I reserve 1 hour for open office hours that you can come and ask me anything at all. So consider it free coaching. If no one else is in the forum and no one else is there to ask questions, you'll get my full hour. If other people are waiting in line, obviously I'm going to try to keep it simple, but give you as much information as I can. But yeah, you can ask me anything about your chart, about astrology, about spirituality, about holistic health from the health coaching perspective, lifestyle. You can ask me about traveling, like come pick my brain. This is something I wanted to do to give back. I see this very clearly now in my solar return chart with my Mercury in Libra and trying to heal people, with my sun in community and tribe, and wanting to bring Venus, love, and abundance and beauty into my career sector. I want to help as many of you as I can. So please come to my open office hours in the Holistic Soul Sister Facebook community. It's going to be a chat room. You just pop into the chat room anywhere in the hour, the open hour. Doesn't have to be on the dot, can be anywhere in that hour. And the open office hours for September, so you can put it in your calendar, is Tuesday, September 13th, which is next Tuesday, at 1 in the afternoon, Eastern Standard Time. So from 1 until 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, hop over to the Facebook group, jump in the forum, and ask me anything. And then 2 weeks later, on Tuesday, September 27th, at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you can't remember those dates, again, just go to the Instagram page, holistic.soul.sisters. You'll see a post for September's Talk to Me Tuesday dates. Screenshot it, create a notes section in your phone for any questions you want to ask me, and hop into the Facebook group and chat with me. So hopefully that helps you guys. If you hadn't heard of that before, I'm going to keep doing that every single month. And I picked 2 different times, one in the afternoon and one in the evening, so that I could help as many of you as possible, depending on your schedules. So thank you guys so much for being a part of our Holistic Soul Sister tribe. I feel so grateful that I get to share with you my knowledge, my experience, my education, that I have a community of women around me that are interested in holistic health and healing and spirituality and astrology. There is nothing greater than women gathering in groups and tribe and helping to change the world. So thank you all so much from my solar return, from my birthday, all the love, all the wishes, everything that you've sent my way for my birthday season. I'm so eternally grateful, and I just want to pay it forward in any and every way that I can. So thank you all so much. If you are interested in birth chart or astrology readings, just get a hold of me. I have some availability for September. October will be very limited because I will be writing the 2023 retrograde astrology journal. So I will be heavily focused on that in October. So very limited availability for birth charts then. And of course, I'll pick back up in November and December for birth chart readings, 2023 astro forecast readings, and solar return readings, compatibility readings, all of the readings I offer. So Thank you all so much. Tune in next week to Holistic Soul Sister Radio for my anti-aging, how to get younger every single year episode. All right, everyone, make sure you keep healing holistically and growing spiritually, and I will catch you in the next episode.